Good morning, Spiritual Chuck here. I looked at the clock, it was 4:04 in the morning. There are those fours again. Fours are really profound numbers. Uh, it's an interesting number. I wasn't going to make my talk on this, but I'll go ahead and elaborate on the four. I'm the fourth child, by the way, but from the mother. Thank you, Mother. And four is called the fourth. Enlightenment is called the fourth state of consciousness, which is of all the three accepted states of consciousness everyone agrees with. We have awake state, dream state, and deep sleep state. And the fourth state is called deep sleep while awake. And deep sleep is considered the doorway to mass consciousness, or the mother. So deep sleep is called the mother, and the first state, awake state, is, you could call it the father. You could wake up to the mass consciousness. You could wake up to the pleroma. The father helps you wake up. The water from above helps you to wake up. It's like the rainwater, the distilled water is the water of the Father, and the Shivambu, the ultrafiltered plasma, the urine, is the water from the mother, right? So it's like both waters are necessary. Plasma, the mother's water, is also called the fourth state of matter. And I read in the Nag Hammadi and the Dead Sea Scrolls that Yeshua said that blessed is the person who finds himself in the fourth place in heaven. And there's some other fours. Brahma has four heads. Hang on. There are 4 points to the cross. There are 4 seasons. There are we have 4 limbs. So you get the point. There's fours, a lot of fours. 4 is also considered the death number, according to some, and that would represent a death and a rebirth. And anyway, just something to think about. The other thing that I was thinking about tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of the darkness and make this video because I can't do it during the day. Although I've thought about that, and I actually can if I use a piece of electrical tape and put it on my camera. I think I can make a video in the daytime. But sometimes, middle of the night is a good time when your cells are normalized and you're at peace and you can think, and the intuition comes to you. And here was my intuition this morning. Be still and know that I am God. Okay? That's the Father. And then here's the Mother. I just want you to think about this statement over again. And that is, I want for nothing, the Mother doeth the work. I want for nothing, the Mother doeth the work. And to think about that, I think about it this way. The Father is the stillness. He's the incomprehensible. He's the source, okay? He's the source of what? He's the source of all creation. And what is all creation but the mother, right? We can call her the pleroma. We can call her the earth. We can call her the galaxy. We can call her cosmic consciousness, where the Father could be considered universal consciousness, and or the source, you know. And she really does do the work, you know. Uh, the mother does the work, you know, and it's like, it's such a controversial statement. It's kind of stymied me for a minute, but it's really true, and it makes a lot of sense. It 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 takes me back to where the Spaniards used to call the ocean the Father, where the Romans and the Catholic Church or whoever came back and began to call the mother the ocean. But if you think about the Father being the ocean, you think about the rainwater. And when the waters came in, you know, when the waters came in and filled the earth with water, it was the Father, you know, that produced the waters from above, the rainwater, and then it was added with the earth and the salt and made the mother. You know, and then the mother did all the waves, all the action, all the everything, you know. So it's like, okay. So she does the work. I love the mother. I never understood. I had my Sparsa yoga experience 17 years ago in the storage unit, and I experienced that peace that surpasseth all understanding. I really did. But I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to to actualize it. I didn't know. It's almost as if it's a contradiction to just be in the Father. It's because the Father takes you to the mother. The stillness takes you to the motion. You know, it's like it's where two are joined. It's what Plato said. God was one. And I think that would include the mother. You know, it includes the stillness and the motion. And God was also defined as stillness in motion, or one good, the good mother. That's why I have to go back and see my mom. She's getting old. I love my mom. I've always loved my mom. But I never knew how to actualize that love. I never really knew how to participate with the mother. I grew up with my father, and God bless him, I loved him unconditionally, and I never saw his faults. Everyone saw his faults, but I never saw his faults. Isn't that funny? Like, he was an alcoholic, and he was like Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, you know. He was going for it, driving fast cars and drinking and chasing women, and you know, he was a real good salesman. He was a handsome devil. He did it all, you know. And I never saw his faults. You know, it's like, wow. Now, through the mother's eyes, I can see his faults. But I still love him unconditionally. And I still love her for her ability to see, or to to see his faults, but also to, you know, have that measuring stick, The mother is the one that measures. She's of measure, where he's immeasurable. It all makes so much sense now. It's like, and then here I am, the son, the product of both of them. So I'm both, I'm really something. Where he's nothing and she's everything, I'm really something. And you are too. I'm the light of the world, and so are y'all. God bless us. God did bless us. The Mother and the Father both blessed us. We're blessed. I see that. I see that now. I see it in everyone. My heart is opened. And this is what I needed to do. I needed to go on this journey, and I needed to be with the people. Just be with all of them, and not be afraid to think about things deeply at the same time. And then not be able to share these things. So many times I've been... Jesus said a strange statement in the Nag Hammadi. He said, unless you renounce this world, you will not know heaven. And I think he went on and said something about, unless you renounce your family, your parents and your siblings and everybody, unless you renounce them, you won't know heaven. And it's like, okay, I get it. I have to be with the Father. And then once I be with the Father, then I can truly know the Mother. And then what did he say? He said, forgive them, they know not what they do. And that's the Mother, forgiving, loving, and the children that get in all that trouble, like me and my brother did when we were growing up. We got in a lot of trouble. I know my mom forgave me. And I know my dad forgave me, because he saw the Father in me too. It's like I was thinking about children earlier, and I was thinking about wondering how many parents realize that their children are older souls than they are, in a way, because they've come after them, and they have in them all their parents' experiences. Like that little girl that was in the store, and she was suffering and crying, and man, I just wanted to grab her. I almost grabbed her hand just to touch her, to see if I couldn't calm her down a little bit. But I knew I was already jacked up. I wasn't grounded. It wasn't going to help. I'm fired up probably more than she was, no, she was probably more fired up than I was, because she was really hurting bad. I know what that feels like. I've had COVID symptoms, and COVID symptoms are like a 7 on the pain threshold. It's like, until I ground out, they don't go away. So it's real important to ground out with the Mother. She heals all wounds. She cures all diseases. She's everything. She does the work. Of myself I'm nothing. The Mother doeth the work. So funny. I looked at the timer, and it's 14 minutes, 44 seconds just now, as I said that. But it's like 14 minutes? Where did 14 minutes go? It's like, when it's like they just went by like nothing, like a minute. It felt like a minute or two, honestly. You know what that reminds me of? They talk about when you're doing the good work, time flies. You don't know. It's like it goes so fast. It's like it's timeless, but I'm experiencing timelessness, and time is just flying by. It's so weird. I couldn't. That just blew my mind just now. It's like, now I was just talking about that in a video, or I'd talked about it, or I'd heard somebody talking about it, or something. And it's really true. It's like so strange. You know, the last 30 years or so of my life have been pretty. The last 14 have really flown by. It's like, or the last 17 years since I had my storage unit experience. It's really flown by. And that, you know, they're saying that in this Kali Yuga age, time is speeding up. And maybe it's speeding up because people's consciousness is speeding up. Maybe the reason that they're in such a hurry to build all these cell towers is because we're actually waking up, you know, and as a species. And I don't know if you believe in aliens, but I've got a feeling that there are other intelligent species out there, and I can just as easily attribute them to the Father as us. And there's, according to some people, there are species out there that do support us, and the League of Light, and things like that, and that there are actually universal laws that are governing planets and species and things like that. And so let's all hope that there is, and that as we wake up and continue our evolution and consciousness, that we're supported in more ways than one. But it's still a good question. It's like, what are we going to do? You know? What are we going to do about this situation? And I was thinking about it earlier, and I was thinking, well, you know, all these cell towers, I know they're built on private property. And it's like, well, I wish that, you know, that we could do something about that. This not a government property. These cell towers are not on government land. They're on private land, you know. And maybe if they were on government land, we could do something about them even easier. But we can pass a law that says, you know what, we don't want to be cooked. We don't want a microwave oven in our backyard. You know, exposing, maybe there's an atmospheric law that we can come into play that says, look, our atmosphere is sacred, you know, and you can't pollute our atmosphere like that. You know, I mean, we do it for emissions. Why can't we do it for Wi-Fi? Why can't we do it for radiation? I mean, this is radiation sickness. There's a lot of possibilities for us, and a lot of possibilities for the mother to do the work, you know. I'm not afraid to talk about this because there's a lot of people talking about it. And I'm not the only one. And I know I'm not. Now, they may persecute me, but you know, I got it down. It's I've been a witness, another witness to the truth. So, oh, that was another thing I was thinking about all this phlegm that I have and that a lot of people have. A lot of people are experiencing this phlegm. Maybe a way to think about it is that it's beneficial, because what's happening is you're expelling the cells that have surrounded the inorganic matter that's in your body. And so this is how your body expels the inorganic rocks and toxins and minerals and metals and all of that. And that's how it gets it out of your body, is through the phlegm. So don't feel bad when you're clearing your throat, don't be ashamed of that. Be proud of that you're actually expelling the unwanted inorganic matter in your body. And you can either spit it out, or even if you swallow it, you still are expelling it, because now it's in the digestive system. Okay? And your digestive, it will go on through your feces and be expelled that way. So don't be ashamed of a little bit of phlegm. Don't clearing your throat. See, because of how much inorganic matter I eat, that it's going to be produced. And it's a good thing that it's being produced, because if it wasn't, it would be metabolized in my body. And because I stay in the waters from above, my poop is essentially like baby poop. It doesn't harden. It's not, contrary to what people think about, floating a big turd. Okay, that's not good. It's not good because, look at a baby's poop. It's not like that. In fact, if a baby has a turd like that, they're crying. They don't like it. It's not natural. It's not supposed to be that way. So think about it like that. Don't be proud of your turds, because what that is it's not being fully metabolized. It's not being fully digested. If it was fully digested, it would be a lot softer than that. You know what I mean? Something like that. All I know is it's okay to get this stuff out. And I'd rather spit it out, but sometimes you're just not in a situation you can do that. And don't feel bad about that either. And what else? The main thing is that you stay in the waters, okay? Because it's the waters that are allowing you to encapsulate that inorganic matter and expel it. So stay in the waters, folks. Stay in the pure waters. Drink pure water every day. I was thinking about it earlier. Wow, 23 minutes. You're not even with me. Are you? Are you with me? I talked to a guy in the mountains, and he was selling water distillers. And I think that's a fantastic thing. It's taking the water right out of the atmosphere and making distilled water. And I think that every home should have one. Absolutely. No question about it. Gotta have one. Really important. That big store that I was at yesterday, I bought Aquafina because they didn't have any gallons of distilled water. None. Zero. Bunch of stores I see don't have distilled water. They're out. People are waking up. And as they're waking up, the suppliers are not providing more distilled water. It's all spring water, spring water, spring water. Rock water. Yeah, let's drink rocks, guys. So we can darken. See, you got to be lit to watch these dark videos of mine, you know. That's when you see the Father is in the dark. That's when you see the first light, the one light. Your third eye. You have to see it in the dark. You know what I mean? So I hope you do. God bless you. Peace, love, and light. Don't be afraid of the dark.